Alright, so using this graph, the FLM USDT coin graph tool, or chart rather, to try to predict how high this coin will rise again before it falls. Alright, if I really think it's time for the coin to fall, that it has risen so much and it's likely to start falling, I can pick this last high, that's 0.3408, and place an order slightly below it, maybe minus 150 or minus 15. All right, for me, I'll do about minus 150. So 3408 minus 150, that'll be about 3258. I'll place a sell order if I really think it's likely to fall. All right, before it falls, it may still rise again. I'll place a sell order at 3258. All right, and then choose how much FLM I want to sell at that point, or short at that point. Let me use just a few, let's say 20 cents, that's 6 FLM, and then I click on sell and the order is placed. So if it rises to 3258, it will be shorted and then I'll make profit if it falls from there. But if it continues to rise, I can experience liquidation. Now, that's how to use the graph to analyze for shorting, at least in the simplest way possible. Now, using the order booklet, or the order book rather, and analyzing buy orders and sell orders, most times that is better done with higher denominations, not in the decimals and multiple decimals and all that. Right now, this is the lowest denomination, 0.0001. All right, if I want to analyze what will happen in a few minutes, right, I can use that. Right now it's 0.3063. There's a buy order, or there are buy orders totaling. Okay, now that's on that thing. I can't even use that easily because it keeps fluctuating so fast. So it's easier to use the next one, that's 0.001. All right, so at 0.306, there are buy orders totaling about 135,000. All right, that has even changed already. Okay, so it's proving a bit too difficult to analyze easily, but it doesn't matter. I can see that at 0.311 here, there seems to be a strong line of resistance, but if I go up, I may see an even stronger line of resistance. I can analyze which one is the highest, where are the highest sell orders. It seems to be at this point, 0.314. all right, 0.3, now 0.326. That seems to be the most massive price, at the price at which most sell orders, the highest number of sell orders are present. That's 326,372 FLM is available to be sold at that price compared to the others. And then if I look at the buy orders, the highest is at 295. all right, 356,406 FLM is available to be bought at that price. So people want to buy that much FLM at that price. That's the highest, that's the price at which the highest number of buy orders are present. This can be referred to as a support level. It's supporting the price of the coin from falling. And this 314 can be referred to as a resistance level. It's resisting the rise of the coin. All right, and the price will always be somewhere in between the support and the resistance. Now, what is likely to happen is that if I want to use those precise levels, I want to see if I think it's going to rise, how high is it likely to rise before it falls. I'm thinking 314. all right, maybe minus a little. So usually I'll subtract 1.5 times the denomination. For example, I'm using 0.001, and at 314 is where I think it will fall. I'm going to place my sell order a little below 314. So I can place it at 313, but I'll remove half the denomination from there. So it will be 313 minus 0.0005. For example, it will be 313, and then I'll subtract 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 3125. All right. I usually do that 15. I use 15, I use 1.5, I use 150 depending on the denomination. I subtract something from there. You can just decide to use the one immediately below it. That okay, if it's going to fall from 314, let me place my sell order 313. All right. And then to buy too, if I think it's going to fall and then I want to buy at a lower price, I can place my buy order at not 295 itself now, because the support is at 295, although there seems to be a stronger support now at 300, so I might use that, or I might still use 295. All right, because 295 seems to be more consistent with 312,000 FLM. All right, I can place my buy order at 296. All right, just above 295, and for me, I'll usually add 1 2 3 4 5. All right, half the denomination. All right, so I can place my buy order there at 0.2965, and if it's a sell order, I can place it at just below the next available resistance line. Now it seems to have shifted to 317, so I'll do 316 and then minus 5, or 3160 minus 5. All right, that's using the other booklet to analyze. But if I want to see what's going to happen over time, I can go a bit deeper and reduce the denomination to 0.01. All right, so the figures are merged together. All right, all these figures are simply compressed together. That's why you have larger figures here. And so I can see a bit more clearly that below where I was analyzing before, there is another support at 0.26. All right, and there's another resistance at 0.36. All right, and currently the price is 0.3063. That's roughly 0.31, somewhere in between the support and the resistance. All right, so I can place, if I want to place a buy order that I'm willing to wait from some hours for, I can place at 0.26 but slightly above it, so 0.27, and then I'll add half the denomination. This time it will be 50. All right, not 2705 but 2750. All right, or I want to place a sell order and I'm willing to wait for some hours for that order to be filled. I want to get the best if possible. So 0.36 is the resistance. I'll place at 0.35 and subtract half the denomination. The denomination is 0.01. I'm going to subtract 0.005. So that will be here 450 instead of 3500. It will be 3450. That's 150 points below 0.36, or 0.015 points below 0.36. That's 0.3450. All right, 0.3600 minus 100, that's 500, minus under 50, that's 450. That's what I do. But you can just do 500 just below it. If you want, you can do the exact 600, although that's not likely to be filled because it's unlikely to reach that price. And so that's using the order book to predict price movements. All right, to predict price movements. Sometimes you can predict even better than that, in the sense that you might see that there's a lot of support and there's little resistance. You think, okay, it's likely to rise. Or there's a lot of resistance, a lot of figures here, a lot of people want to sell, and there's little support, it's likely to fall. Well, it doesn't always work like that, but sometimes, a number of times, you will be right if you analyze it that way a good number of times. And then you can combine your knowledge of the chart and the order book. So the other time I said that I was going to place a sell order at 3258 because I think it's not going to rise to 0.3408 before falling back down. Or even if it does, I want to place an order at a place I'm sure the order will be met. So I'm going to place it 150 points below 0.3408. But from the order book, I can see that there's a resistance where now at 3600. So I think, okay, this time when it rises, it may go beyond 3408, but it may not go beyond 36. All right, so instead of placing at 3258, I've decided based on the order book to place at 3450. But I'm thinking, okay, what if it doesn't rise beyond 3408 where it hit before, and I want to be sure my order will beat? I can go back to my 3258, or I can stay somewhere in between 3258 and 3450. That will be about 3350. Anyone. But if I want to be certain to be hit to a very large extent, I stay with the lowest order if it's a sell order, with the lowest point if it's a sell order, or if it's a buy order, I stay with the highest point. I stay as high as possible. All right. If you bid too low, you may not get it. That's what essentially what it's all about. So my support is here 0.26. I can add 50 to it, or I can even decide to add to 0.25. Instead of adding 150, I can add 250. All right, just so I'm sure that it's likely to hit my price, my buying price or my selling price. That's using the order booklet to predict price movements. And there's another, you can still look at the order booklet on a larger scale. You can click on the charts like we did before, and then scroll down. You see the order book. All right, and you can change denominations over here in this corner from 0.0001 to 0.001 to 0.01, and you can see all the available orders. You can see that there's a support here. The line itself shows that, but the amount is more important. 348. There's a support here. There's a support here. At 0.25, there's a support. At 0.29, there's a support. There's also a resistance at 0.32, and down at 0.36, 0.37, and 0.41. All right. So those will determine where you place your buy orders and your sell orders. How high you expect the coin to rise, how low you expect it to fall.